Alright, so testing out these little quick streams where I stream and then I break up the stream into multiple things. So yes, we are going to read those books, the book things, what the whole festival was all about. Where's that really cool place that floats in the sky? I think it's in Cuyun Karst, somewhere over here. Korachun, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so it's in Liwa, and it had to do with the Adepti, and there was that really scenic area, that was on this floating platform. Ah, this must be it. Okay. Yeah. I just think that this is, like, the most classy place to read from, and I think when I read books, I'm definitely gonna need to, like, select a cool place from which to do it. Because we're
Well,
classy bitches up in this joint, okay? We're classy.
from the top of the mountain shrine.
Alright. So, this is what I'm doing here. We're gonna sit right here, and we're gonna watch the sunset. And then I'm gonna read this book. Alright. From my inventory, I want to say. Yes. Alright. So, today on Let's Read, we are going to read Shogun Almighty, Reborn as Ryden with Unlimited Power. And I definitely wrote that wrong in the description, so I'll have to edit it afterwards. Hopefully I remember. A popular light novel in the Inazuma which tells the story of a mere mortal suddenly turning into the Ryden Shogun. The story is well received for its novel plot and has inspired many light novels. Shogun Almighty, reborn as Ryden with unlimited power. Such is life. Mom and Dad always tell me to know right from wrong, but the reality is, we're always choosing the lesser of two evils. My girlfriend has decided to break up with me. Not only that, but she also got me fired by telling my supervisor that I have a gambling addiction. Funny how I don't actually have much money to burn because I have to pay protection fees. Failure to do so, and anything could happen to my parents. My parents, however, they think I'm a loser who could neither find a serious job nor save up any mora. That's rather ironic, considering who I'm doing this for. How is it my fault? If it is, I blame myself for my incompetence to find a way out after all the struggles and also my lack of courage to end it all once and for all. Damn, that's dark, dude. But, you know what? This fits the stereotypical, the stereotypical light.
Isekai?
Yeah, isekai opener. Yeah, that's a pretty stereotype for the
Although
2010s.
this guy actually seems significantly more generally, socially, responsible than most isekai protagonists.
I still haven't decided whether we're dealing with unreliable narrator, right? Like, does he or does he not have a gambling addiction? And what is up with these protection fees? And, like, I guess the protection fees exist because of how Inazuma was when it was closed off. And, like,
Yep.
the whole awful bribery and shit.
Yep.
Alright, anyway. Forget it. Just hand them the money when they arrive. Forget it. Just hand them the money when they arrive. And after that, I really need to think of how to earn some mora. Or I'll have seagrass on the dinner table in the future. Okay, time to choose between the worst and the worst. A falling blade or a flying stone. Which one is less painful? Bzzz. I've been hearing strange noises. What's going on? Is the thunder going to strike? I wake up not knowing how long I've been unconscious. All I remember is the sharp pain shooting through my body before I passed out. It doesn't feel very painful. What? I scream upon hearing the voice. Is this my voice? Ah! Ah! So I'm not dreaming. I lift my arm and see the pale, soft skin covered in exquisite fabric. This is definitely not my body, but to arrive at this conclusion requires a bold logical leap. That my brain isn't yet ready to take, because it simply doesn't make any sense. I try to stand up to have a better view of my clothes. Every detail is brimming with luxury. The clothes are befitting of the one holding the highest authority. Could it be? Where's that brat, huh? This is the Ryden Shogun? The very title itself bears weight. Ah, yes. I got reincarnated as the Ryden Shogun. The Kairagi who came to collect debts had already stood in a formation. Although I cannot see their faces, their gestures convey their level of alertness and also fear. I've never seen them like this. Come on! It's time to take revenge! He trails off. He's scared. Unwilling to act like a coward in front of his underlings, the man can't just run, but he is also aware of the consequences. More people are gathering, 10, 20, 50. Perhaps they think their numbers could make a difference. But the mortal's idea of outnumbering simply does not apply to the Ryden Shogun, the wielder of divine powers. Let me try my blade with you. I take a deep breath, focus my mind, and adopt the fighting stance. My destiny shall be rewritten after my blade unleashes this slash. Muso. Wait a minute. How do I unleash Muso Hitotachi? Alright, rate my performance, Korochun.
Solid 6.
Solid 6, alright. Pretty please, Kitsune Guuji. What would you say are the things I need to do to improve?
Probably the intonation and like a little bit better character voice or narration voice.
Character voice?
Yeah.
So for that one, I tried to do like some bumbling dude who's on the last of his rope, and then when I switched to the Reborn as Ryden Shogun, I switched into a kind of more Ryden Shogun authoritative voice.
Yeah, but you also were stuttering too, and I think you missed a couple of words here and there. So
okay, so that's what you're talking about. It's my stuttering.
Yeah.
See, that's the stutter I was telling you about earlier. I've been trying to fix it, but I noticed that I sometimes have it. Pretty please, Kitsune Guuji. Maybe I just need to read slower. That'll probably help.
Yep.
A popular light novel in Inazuma which tells the story of the good-for-nothing shogun and the good-at-everything Kitsune Guuji. The novel is in the same collection as Shogun Almighty, Reborn as the Ryden with Unlimited Power, but not by the same author. What they share in common, however, is their popularity.
I really wonder who wrote that novel. It's gotta be Yai herself.
Pretty please, Kitsune Guuji. Welcome Black... Well, that's the thing is, Yai doesn't have to write it herself. She can just give other people ideas and they'll just write it. Which I think is what she does, right?
She did mention that she wanted to write her own novel, so...
That's fair. Okay.
This is like exactly the kind of thing she would write, so, you know.
That's fair. Pretty please, Kitsune Guuji. Welcome back, Almighty Shogun, says Yai Masako, who is kneeling on the ground respectfully. She's dressed in a red-white shrine maiden outfit. her fluffy fox ears twitching slightly, and beneath them is a face that all looks up to. Okay, that's a slightly awkward phrase. And beneath them is a face that all look up to. You're back. I asked you to help patrol the territory half a month ago. How's it going then? Oh, that should be Shogun, right? Okay. You're
No.
back. What?
No, it's still Yai.
It's still, yeah, okay, I did it right then. Oops, I shouldn't have asked about work when you've just returned. Well, as usual, are you going to have dinner first or take a bath first? Or do you prefer... What? As usual? You never greeted me this way when I came back in the past. Hearing my response, the figure dressed in red and white gives a content smile and goes on. I wanted to cheer you up a bit seeing your tired face. Now I gotta get back to cooking. I made your favorite butter crab today. Yay! Yeah, I know that she can't cook.
No, butter crab is basically terminology or the euphemism for, like, you know, particularly raunchy fanfic.
Oh. See, I did know that crab is used in their censorship because, like,
Yep.
there's that phrase, a crab is walking by.
Butter crab is very juicy crab.
And the crab stands for censorship?
Yep.
Okay. So this is juicy censorship. Okay.
Yep.
Yay, butter crab. My favorite butter crab. I, the Ryden Shogun, whose signature line is yay, and whose favorite food is butter crab, spend most of my time with, basically there are only two kinds of people in my life. Nobodies and the one with fluffy ears and a teasing voice. Yae Masako, Guuji of the Grand Kaminaru Shrine, descendant of Kitsune lineage and Eternity's servant and friend. She goes by too many names to remember. In the eyes of the people of Inazuma, she's almost as unapproachable and unfathomable as I. Yet that very Yae Masako is intently watching the butter crab as it is being baked. Yes, simply put, I, the Ryden Shogun, am being looked after by Guuji Yae Masako. Before I knew it, I had already gotten used to this way of life. Every time I just randomly swing my sword, she'll enthusiastically clap her hands and say, "Good girl." Every time I look for some snacks to go with Shogun Almighty, reborn as the Ryden with unlimited power, she can always produce delicious milk tea and cake in no time. She carefully extinguishes every flicker of potential annoyance as if she's maintaining eternity. For me, she's like a Kitsune from the legend who grants every wish of mine. Butter crab is ready. Before enjoying the food, allow me to get back to our previous question about patrolling. Masako turns around, settling the steaming hot butter crab on the table. Its scent soon permeates the room. But I can't bring myself to answer her question. To be honest, this is the reason I'm so down today. Like I said, there are only Masako and a few other people in my world. All of them, except Masako, would do the same thing upon seeing me. They would bow to the ground in the most respectful manner and address me as Almighty Shogun. When I walk away, they will then straighten up with a sigh of relief. It doesn't matter if they're someone's wife, father, boyfriend, or girlfriend. It doesn't matter if they're someone's brother. It doesn't matter if they're someone's boss, servant, or hero. They always put on the same face in front of me, one that exhibits the reverence and fear for the Almighty Shogun. Yet, none know how I equally fear that very face of theirs. Who wouldn't? Just thinking about it, thousands of people putting on the same face in your presence. This is why I rely so much on Masako. This is why I couldn't reject her request. Although I can't do it, I will always go out to work as long as she wants me to. To be honest, I don't know how to deal with those identical faces, thousands of them. I don't want to, and I can't. As long as I get to avoid making contact with them, I don't mind being called a loser shogun. But still, although I don't mind that, I can't face Masako's questions. Why are you so quiet, almighty shogun? Is it because you did nothing at all after walking out of Tenshukaku and then came back in the evening? There was not a trace of reprimand to be heard in Masako's voice, but that made me even more ashamed when facing her questions. All right, then. Rest is also important. I have other matters to attend to, so I'll excuse myself. Enjoy your fill of the crab. Masako turns around and leaves. Somehow, the butter crab today tasted like nothing. Soon I'll know why. The almighty shogun is invincible, but the invincible almighty shogun could be defeated by a cold. Not long after I ate the butter crab, I collapsed into bed with a severe headache. The pain is nothing, but something more grievous has happened. On any other day, I could just rest my head on Masako's knees and fall asleep to her singing voice. But Masako isn't around today. My chamber feels icy cold, and my forehead feels icy hot. My chamber feels icy cold, and my forehead feels fiery hot. This time, no one is sitting by my bedside. She has her own matters to attend to. She is not only my Kitsune, but also the Guuji of the shrine. Maybe she's very mad now. Or perhaps she is wondering if it is worthwhile to spend so much effort on the shogun who always has the line, "Yay," upon her lips. With such a question in mind, I fall asleep. I have a dream in which Masako is still wearing her signature smile, a tea bowl in hand. I brewed this drink called Rainbow Aster. I went to Rito and bought some Kayla lilies from Mondstadt, mixed them with mint, and we have this drink that can cure your cold. Now drink it. Perhaps because I'm dreaming, I don't have the strength to brace myself up. It looks like you can't support yourself. Allow me. She feeds me the Rainbow Aster in a way that I'd never dare to imagine. I wake up with a start, my head still reeling from the sheer shock of the scene just now. Masako is probably still mad at me for slacking off. It's just, why does it feel so sweet at the corner of my lips? This is 100% a Yuri.
I mean, obviously. Did you not notice a whole line about what would you like? Would you like a dinner in a bath, or...
Well, no, I mean I saw that, but that can also just be a joke.
Yeah. Nope. Oh, you know what else you should read? By the way, that was a 9 out of 10. That was a big improvement.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I am pretty good at
also...
seductive voices in general, so that works in my favor. What do you want? Let's go Dodoko?
No, actually. You should, I mean, you can do that one, but you should also read the Traveler's Guide. Like the Inazuma entries. Actually, you can read all
The
of them
Miraculous Adventures of the Traveler?
No, the Traveler's Guide to Taiwan.
Oh, right. Okay. I gotta open the archive for that. So, I'll read this, but only if you grab me pudding.
Alright, fine, I see. That's how it works, huh? We're doing blackmail today.
This is called equivalent exchange.
Very well. Pudding it is. You sure you don't want, like, yogurt or anything?
I want pudding.
Alright.
Pudding. Although I will also accept pickles with mayonnaise.
Alright.
But I would prefer pudding. But I guess if you're worried about my blood sugar, I could go with the other one.
As you can see.
Hey, which one are you getting?
Pudding.
Huh?
Pudding.
I suddenly crave the pickles and mayo.
Unfortunately, the pudding is already in this.
Very well, I will accept the pudding. It was my first choice initially, anyway.
That was your strongest request. So, no takebacks. Let's have the pickles later.
Yeah, I think my body just really wants to eat a varied diet. Like, snack on one thing and then snack on a different thing. Thank you, Carlton. Mmm. Delicious.
But yeah, you should check out the Traveler's Guide. Oh yeah, the Teyvat Travel Guide.
The Teyvat Travel Guide. Mondstadt Chapter. Teyvat Geographic Special Edition. Alice's Mondstadt Diaries. Darupa Gorge. The 3 hilly churl tribes located in this valley are all densely populated. What if we built a huge spinning ball-shaped cell in the center of the valley and threw all of the hilly churls into it? That way, we might be able to generate enough energy to power all the mills in Mondstadt for at least 5 years. If we took it one step further by grinding the hilly churls that are too old or too weak into food and feeding them to the strong ones, we might just build ourselves a perpetual motion machine that can support a huge factory like in Snezhnaya. It seems totally feasible to me. When I told Miss Lisa about this idea, she just looked at me and pondered in silence for a long time, then changed the subject gracefully. Snorsnatch Cliff. The Animo Archon is a bit too undisciplined for me. If I were a god, I would not have allowed my realm to look so unorganized and ragged. With enough bombs placed in proper positions, even huge cliffs like Snarsnatch would crumble into dust in a second. With flatter terrain, Mondstadt would surely look much nicer. Oh, you know what I should do? I should actually look up the, Alice's voice from the Archipelago event. Alice.
Just remember that I'm pretty sure that Alice is a fae. She constantly talks about abducting people
Yeah, I just
and
wanna...
spiriting them away.
I want Alice voice. So I want the Alice voice recording. I'm gonna listen to it really quick. And then try to imitate it. Because I
Alright.
just forgot her voice totally. I want the English voice, not the Japanese voice, you fool. You fool! Alice in all languages, this is fine. I would like English, please, and thank you.
I just want to take a moment to point out that Alice might in fact be the best candidate we have for the unknown god so far. She is omnipotent, can use every element. She has been into what forever.
Sus.
You have finally arrived. I've waited far too long. How very...
And she can travel between worlds, which, you know, something the unknown god might be able to do as well.
Okay, quiet for a second. I'm listening to this.
Alright.
Wicked girl of flame, you have finally arrived.
Wicked girl of flame, you have finally arrived.
I've waited far too long.
I've waited far too long. I don't remember her sounding like that.
How very boring.
Well, that's just her playing a bit.
How very boring. Oh, right. This is when she's faking being the Dodo Clan. Okay. Your mother, Alice. That sociopath? Clee and her fellow islanders. Hey there. So, how did you like it here? Was it fun? Summer skies and the ocean surf? Quite the vacation, no?
There's no use looking for me. I'm not actually near you. The speaking device on the platform before you is none other than my personal creation, the Alice phonograph.
She kind of speaks like one of those people from those old roulette shows.
Yeah.
I'm using it to convey a mother's love.
You can't be serious.
Hey, I didn't scare you all off, did I? Sorry. My Clee loves playing with all sorts of small toys, and her mother unnaturally wants to destroy her.
Please.
A pity that I can't meet you, but I'll be watching your every move from afar, just as always.
It was actually Alice. How careless of me. Wait, what?
You might find all of this a bit odd. Why would a mother so far from home expend so much effort to create such an aquatic wonderland?
Alright, I think I kind of got her idea of her voice. The Animo Archon is a bit too undisciplined for me. If I were a god, I would not have allowed my realm to look so unorganized and ragged. With enough bombs placed in proper positions, even huge cliffs like Star Snatch would crumble into dust in a second. With flatter terrain, Mondstadt would surely look much nicer. But that unctuous cavalry captain rejected my proposal instantly. He even asked me to stay away from Snarstatch Cliff. Windrise. At the center there is a huge oak tree. It's said that Vanessa ascended there. I searched around the tree for a long time, but I did not find any launching device. I grabbed some hilly trails nearby to put my theory to the test. Sadly, the longest flying distance was from here to the hunter's nest around Springvale. How disappointing! So how are you feeling about this voice so far?
Really good.
Okay. Falcon Crest. My unsuccessful experiment caused quite a stir in Springvale, so Miss Jean from the Knights of Avonius arranged someone to keep tabs on me. All I could do all day was wandering around at Falcon Coast. This is such a boring place. Those stupid eagles hovering in the sky and puffed up Animo slimes all bored me to death. The worst of all is that I had nothing to do. On the other hand, the Outrider girl who was sent to monitor me had quite a lot of fun with the kids. The kids?
Yeah.
I hope that's the kids that hang out there and not that she's like wandering around teaching small children to genocide native species.
In fact, I think it's the latter because remember the explosive Tamari balls that we have to find in
Now I'm
Inazuma?
just imagining that she's like the professor from the magic school bus
Yeah, except with high explosives.
with a lot more murder.
She's like,
Somebody
She's
now
like,
needs to make a magic school bus meme, but with Alice.
yeah.
Only we don't know what Alice looks like yet. It would be funny if Alice was actually the unknown god. But I don't know, that unknown god looked like she had her stick up her ass way more.
Yeah.
Whispering Woods. Yet another forest in Mondstadt. This outrider named Amber seemed to know her way around this place. The explosive toy she carried around caught my attention. With some tweaks, I could turn it into something that could blow this forest and even the nearby mountains into smithereens easily. My proposal seemed to scare her, but an explosive stuffed toy is indeed a brilliant idea. I must try it out next time. Bright Crown Canyon. I finally got rid of that stalker from the Knights of Avonius. This valley I found at the northeast coast of Cider Lake is still guarded by ancient mechanisms, but the soldiers responsible for holding the pass for the King of Gales are nowhere to be found now. That's so interesting, because she's really talking about it like the last time she was here. She couldn't investigate this area properly because the soldiers wouldn't let her pass.
Yep.
All the winds of time had left behind were the unintelligent hilly trails and silent mechanical guards. My attempt to control the rune guards with hilly trails failed as well. The guards split into pieces, and as for the fate of the hilly trail strapped to it, I'll spare you the gory details. Half of the ruins were also destroyed in the process. Storm Terrace Lair. Bright Crown Canyon leads to this huge ruin of an ancient city, which was built by the cruel king of the Gales, Decarabian. The city was built in a ring shape. It seems that every resident of the city had been arranged in their own spot between the inner and outer rings. Right in the center of the city was the tall tower where the King of Gales resided. The ruins of the domain of this cruel king who once tried to control his people's lives are now utterly deserted. I blew up a few arcades so people can climb up the tower. I blew up a few arcades so people can climb up the tower more easily. Looks quite good to me. The ruin feels more ancient now. She's just out here fucking destroying cultural relics.
Yep.
God damn.
Fucking blew it up.
Volume 2, Liyue Chapter. Tevat Geographic Special Edition. Alice Travels in Liyue. Dihua Marsh. The northern stretch of the Bishui River turns into a wetland. If you look south beyond the stone gate, you'll see Silvergrass Marsh as far as the eye can see. At the southernmost point of the marsh is an inn perched atop a giant rock. That is the Wangshu Inn, the highest point on the entire marsh. Look south from there and you'll see Guili Plains. You can also make out the Cuyun stone forest across the sea. Also, there's a weirdo staying at the inn on the top floor. I don't think I've ever heard him say a single word. Lunch is a true feast at the
I just
Wangshu
want to
Inn.
point out that Xiao is normally invisible.
Yeah. Lunch is a true feast at the Wangshu Inn. The kitchen is equipped with every utensil you could imagine, perfect for getting some practical alchemy experience. On top of alchemy, okay. On top of the alchemy practice, I've got a few new things to test out on my search for an explosion catalyst. If everything goes smoothly, I'll spend a few more days here and then head to Guili Plains. Guili Plains. In the end, I came to Guili Plains a few days earlier than I'd originally planned. Records suggest that prior to the Archon War, this area was a thriving marketplace. The foxes and the wild finches are stunning here, with furs and feathers that have a certain glow about them. But I hear that they can be pests, too. Liyue locals complain that they keep eating their fruit offerings to the Geo-Archon. I wonder if that gives them a fruity aroma when roasted. Maybe I should go hunting. They run a strict operation at the checkpoint at the main road, and the guards who work there are friendly people. I made a potion from some local herbs and gave it to one of them for his stutter. It cured him, but it did have some minor side effects. He now can't help but constantly imitate everyone he comes across. Not just what they say, but the way they say it. It's uncanny how spot on his impressions are. This is just like the reason why you shouldn't just allow random snake oil salesmen to sell you shit.
Yep.
Because you don't want to just like be the experimental product of some like mad medical scientist.
Yep.
Cuyun Karst. I'm told that somewhere amidst the misty peaks of Cuyun Karst lives an Adeptus, the exact location hidden somewhere in the ocean of cloud. All the Liyue herb gatherers claim to have seen the realm of the Adepti in all its glory revealed before their very eyes in the clouds. Based on personal experience, I can say that overindulging in certain types of mushrooms can induce visions of a similar nature. Okay, but I've been there, though. Sorry that you're not good enough to find the entrance. The terrain here fascinates me. So many of these stone pillars look like they belong deep underground, not here on top of a mountain. There is supposed to be an underground reservoir here. Part of me wonders if all the water was drawn out, perhaps Cuyun Karst would find itself back on the ocean floor where it belongs. My travel companion, Zhang Li, is the sternest person I know, but he seems most entertained by this theory. He won't stop laughing. What an odd fellow. Zhongli traveled with Alice.
Yep.
Yaoguang Shoal. I've heard that the fog often rolls off in the sea into The fog often rolls off the sea into Yaoguang Shoal, and when it's at its thickest, you can barely see your hand at the end of your outstretched arm. Unfortunately, I didn't make it here in time to see a foggy episode. It's a bit of a shame, really. There are so many lovely shells on the beach. I wonder how many of them have been here since the Archon War. I strung some of them together to make a necklace, but unfortunately that fisherman from the inn sat on and broke it. Every last shell, brutally crushed beneath his merciless buttocks. None were spared. Not only that, but because he injured himself on the shards of broken shell, I had to pay his medical bills. A giant conch shell stands on the beach where the Bishui River enters the sea. A kind old lady lives inside. Her family is said to have sailed here on a giant shell, and she spends her time rescuing shipwrecked people who end up drifting near the shore. I think that repurposing the giant shell as a self-propelled boat would make it much easier for her to rescue people from the sea. But after I lost control of my third prototype seashell boat and it blew up, the kind old lady decided she was not going to rescue me from the sea anymore. Oh my gosh. Amber's both the best and the worst. She kind of reminds me of my heavy gear character, Alvair, combined with Rashiv. She's like Rashiv blended with Alvair.
Did you mean Alice?
I'm saying that Alice is like Rashiv blended with Alvair.
Yeah, because you said Amber before.
Oh. Well, it was one of those A names.
Yep.
Cuyun Stone Forest. This is the site where the Geo Archon defeated the sea monster. Some of the great stone spears that pierce the ocean floor still tower above the surface of the sea, though many snapped years ago. The hexagonal stone pillars, formed from a conglomeration of geoenergy, are quite intriguing to look at. Viewed from above, one gets the impression that they were deliberately arranged in their current form to make a specific shape on the ocean surface. Maybe that was the real reason the Geo Archon rained down destruction on the ocean floor with his stone spears. Maybe it was all just a big joke, albeit in extremely poor taste. I don't think Alice has any right to tell anyone what is poor taste.
Yeah.
Zhongli from Liyue Harbor seems extremely knowledgeable on Liyue folklore, but I've never actually seen him come here. I can see the Wangshu Inn in the distance. I bet that weirdo I met there last time is still staring this way now. The flow of the ley lines around here is unique in all of Liyue. Much more dynamic, somewhat unstable. It's as if a great restless power stirs somewhere in the depths of the ocean. Perhaps it is the defeated sea monster still writhing on the ocean floor. Volume 3. Mount Yogo. Lush sakura trees grow all over this mountain in the northern end of Narukami Island. These sakura all share roots with the largest of them, the sacred sakura, which sits on the mountain's summit. The Grand Narukami Shrine, greatest of the Inazuma shrines, is dedicated to this sacred sakura. Little Yae has been the one managing this shrine in recent years. Ah, how she's grown. It's just a shame, really, to think I can never again make her cry as easily as I used to. Really, I thought that she'd quickly get drunk, start to cry, and talking all silly, but she drunk me under the table instead. I made a fool of myself in the process and was quite thoroughly mocked for it, getting made out to be some old woman who got what's coming to her. And here I was looking to tease that little girl a bit more, too. That's pretty great.
She'll laugh how she's like, I love making people cry.
Yeah. As if she was, like, she was not really trying to hide her sadism streak. What was this, grinding hilly churls up and feeding feeding the parents to their children, essentially, when they die? Like, that's some pretty dark shit. Especially when you remember that this is a sapient species. They have a language. They speak to each other. They have a culture.
Yep. Nope, she does not give a shit.
Nope. Oh man, my craving for pickles and mayo is so strong right now. I'm gonna keep a hold of it. I'm keeping a hold of it.
Some leftovers later, okay?
Alright. I'm keeping a hold of it. Alright? I'm keeping myself in check. Alright. I brought a new firework formula at the Nagonohara Kids... Okay. I bought a new firework formula at that Nagonohara kid's place. But when he heard me talking about a new medicine that might cure his deafness, he demurred and did not accept it. Smart guy. This kid is ever the conservative about explosives, always diluting them to the point where they cannot cause any obvious physical changes to the environment, and always relying on the combustion of different metals to produce monotonous visual effects. And he only does tests inside his workshop. I mean, come on, where's the fun in that? Such a waste. Now, as for his daughter, Yoimiya, she's an interesting young lady. We collected a lot of sweets during the festival and tried all kinds of new formulas out. That was so much fun. And then we got packed off to a deserted beach by the fire brigade. Something about new rules with which to keep the peace in Inazuma City or something similarly silly. We discussed a lot of new ideas, and she even gave me some constructive feedback. A talented kid, this one is. If the paradise I made for Klee also had one of Yoimiya's fireworks performance, that would have been perfect. It's just a shame that grumpy Shogun kept too close an eye on us, or else I'd have helped her improve some of her gadgets or even spirited her away. Just casually said she would have freaking kidnapped Yoimiya.
Yep.
This reminds me of a time not long ago when I was preparing a medicine that would allow for flight in the Imperial kitchen. It blew up due to a mistake of mine, injuring a young Tengu general to the point where her left wing would have needed, say, half a month to recover. I wanted to help her patch the wound up, but it seemed as if she's been avoiding me ever since. Well, I left her some medicine, all the same, just to see how its effects would turn out. Oh my god, she doesn't even pretend that she's giving medicine to people to help. She literally is just giving medicine to people as like, oh, this person's injured, I can opportunistically test my shit on them. Yeah, that's on brand. After that incident, it seems that person who spends all her time holed up in Tenshukaku has sent some soldiers specifically to watch my every move. I mean, that's a bit much. I even apologized right to her face, but she just won't let up. She was the only one who'd allowed me to conduct experiments in the Imperial kitchen in the first place, you know? She was the one who allowed me to conduct the experiments in the Imperial kitchen in the first place, you know? Also, Miss Kamisato declined my idol group invitation for the 6th time running. What a disappointment. So I'm guessing that Barbara started becoming an idol after Alice gave her the same invitation.
Yep.
Tatarasuna. Tatarasuna is an island chain that is naturally shaped like a ring. The mountains rise to overlook the sea surrounding the large blast furnace in the middle. This is where Inazuman jade steel is produced and endlessly made into the best weaponry for the high-faulting bigwigs of Inazuma, or made from the blood and bones of a defeated god. This place is the Tenryou Commission's pride and joy, and as such, he takes extra good care of the workers and technical specialists. I was accompanied during my time at Tatarasuna by a lady named Kagami Gozen. She seemed to be a leader amongst the workers there and has an official shogunate post. Even though she's the Tenryou Commission's subordinate, she very much looks like his equal in front of the workers. All of them trust and love her. I dare say that her respect for her dispatches might be even greater than what they give the shogun. But Kami Gozen herself frowns often. Very unfriendly looking. The Tatarasuna workers are largely rootless, washed up on these shores by the waves of history. Their many tattoos and working songs set them apart and also strengthens their mutual bonds. Like the other workers at Tatarasuna, Kagami Gozen's body has scars from high-temperature burns from Tatarigami. These may be signs of short-lived or ill people in the eyes of outsiders, but here it is how they identify family. I took the liberty of modifying the Mikage furnace. Oh no.
Actually, this is probably good.
This is probably good? Alright.
Yeah.
I took the liberty of modifying the Mikage furnace, throwing a few valves and panels into the sea, and improving the containment dome, which at present can, at best, be rated better than nothing. I wonder if those engineers from Fontaine will be pleasantly surprised. Oh yeah, I guess that is useful, huh? Old Man Kujo might get a little upset from production going down, but at least the furnace isn't going to go haywire from overheating, and I believe that even in the event of a war, which may soon come, the explosion should not be too large. Large, according to my personal standards, of course. Actually, might my ingenious inventions perhaps prevent war from breaking out at all? Well, I, for one, would be more than pleased to see the expressions on those astrologers' faces when their predictions come to naught. Ha! Yashiori Island. Ah, the clever blue skies over Yashiori Island is really a pleasant sight. Those stodgy onmyoji explained that the Ryden Shogun placed many wards over this place to prevent the corruption that seeps from the remnants of the serpent god, or something like that. I'm not good with their religious jargon. As far as I can observe, those lamp posts are quite interesting. Although they have the appearance of items dedicated to the Electro Archon, the techniques used to make them are quite familiar to me. Oh, whoa, would you look at that? This is supposed to be a travel log, not an academic paper. Easy mistake to make. We were warmly welcomed by Washizu, the head of the Higi village. The grilled fish and onigiri were great. And also, the place that they called Nozuchi Beach is full of friendly pirates. It's just a shame that I couldn't stay on this island for longer. The miles on the island are busy places indeed, but the equivalent they used here is quite backward. Even the shogun put all those words down, blocking off most of the Tatarigami's spread, but many miners have still contracted chronic illnesses from prolonged exposure to the influence of those snake bone crystals. The sakura mochi that the onmyoji brought with them was very tasty, and they're hardly the equal of the beauties that Liliai makes. I should probably pay a visit to Iyase Shrine later. I wonder how that fat cat's been doing lately. I did try to catch it with a specially crafted cage the other time, only to be stopped by that killjoy shrine maiden. Alright, and that's the Teyvat travel guide.
Good job. What did you think?
It was fun. I like analyzing the character and, all that good stuff. I am going to stop and restart the stream, though, because we're going to switch back